Let's go Atlanta 21, Houston Texans 19. This was a great game at the end here. Atlanta moves to 3-2. Texans fall to 2-3. It looked like C.J. Stroud had a nice
game-winning drive
comeback, game-winning drive. Beautiful throw for a touchdown to Dalton Schultz. Beautiful play call as well, I might add.
From PFF Bobby?
By PFF Bobby. Just saying, it was a great play. Jesse Bates, we'll talk about in a minute. But Desmond Ridder's best game on the other side for the Falcons. He leads the comeback the other way. Falcons win with a game-winning field goal, 21-19, to stay afloat in the NFC South.
No, this was a good game by Desmond Ridder. Big for him coming off such a crappy one previously. But 28 from 37 for 329 yards, a passing touchdown, a rushing touchdown as well. They still are tapping into this Desmond Ridder as a runner thing, which I think is really important for that offense. And then he ends up with a game-winning drive. Follows C.J. Stroud's game-winning drive with one of his own to get them into range and get that win.
Nice big pass to Drake London.
Drake London just took over on that game-winning drive. They just fed him the ball, and he made a bunch of plays. I thought Drake London looked really good in the game. I thought Ridder looked good. That's got to be his best career game, right?
Yeah, I think it has to. I mean, by far the best game he's played this season. It almost looked like, and this is what's tough when you're predicting in the NFL, right? A week ago, or the last 2 weeks, the Falcons' offense looks terrible. Mm-hmm. It looked like they came into this game and said, okay, little self-scout here. We're going to make life a little bit easier for Ridder. And, oh, by the way, all the offseason analysis that we had, it's like they remembered. We have Drake London. We have Kyle Pitts. We have these good playmakers. And they just kept running pretty much the same concept over and over, right? Kyle Pitts, inside in trips. They're going to run deep outs with him. They're going to run over routes with Kyle Pitts. So he has 7 catches for 87 yards. Beautiful back shoulder to Drake London. So he had a couple big plays in there. They got Jonnu Smith open when they needed to. That you just never know when that's going to strike. That Atlanta has all these playmakers, and if the QB just plays efficient, which Ridder did, got the ball out quickly and on time, read it high to low, and got the ball to the playmakers, it was a very good. I know they only ended up with 21 points, but it was a very good offensive performance for the Falcons because they got their good playmakers involved.
Yeah, it was. Are you ready for this, Mr. Home and Away Splits?
Yes.
Desmond Ridder
got some good ones.
Is now 5-0 at home in the NFL. He was 26-0 at home in college. The man has never lost a home game dating back to high school.
How did I miss that?
Uh-huh.
How did I miss that?
You with your 5-game sample size for Tennessee. What about this?
Well, this is easy. I got the Falcons pegged for the rest of the year.
Right? We're 31-0 since high school.
Wow. That is amazing. I'm impressed.
That's crazy.
So normally when I see that, you blame the dome or you credit the dome. He's in the dome. Of course, he's throwing the ball better in the dome. But Cincinnati's outdoors. Yeah, it's right down the street here. I might be there this Saturday. I might go to the game.
We were there doing our rugby challenge.
We were there. Yeah.
No dome.
No dome. I would blame the dome. Well, he threw the ball well. Yeah, that's a lot better. Bijan Robinson, 14 carries, forced 9 missed tackles.
Fumbled though, right? Or dropped.
He did have a fumble in there. He had a fumble in there. Only 46 yards. Yeah, it's another one. Like the Texans had the lowest run defense grade in the NFL coming in. They kept Bijan Robinson and Tyler Algier to almost nothing.
We don't chart this, right? It feels like we should, but Bijan must lead the league in one-handed catches already.
No, we don't chart that, but every catch in the flats, just like, yep.
Yeah, just, yeah. And it's usually slightly off target because, Desmond Ridder. But just reaches back, plucks it out of the sky one-handed. This time he almost went behind the back, getting it, in control, and then took off. But every catch he has feels like a one-handed catch.
Yeah, love that guy. Love watching him play. So Stroud plays another decent game. I almost said Nathaniel. Tank Dell's getting open left and right.
Until he got concussed.
Until he got concussed. 3 catches for 57 yards for him. But Jesse Bates had made a really nice pass breakup earlier in the game, and the Texans kind of set him up with Dalton Schultz. They faked a little over route and then went vertical. It was really an outstanding setup, and that was the game winner. And so that would have been a fun narrative if the Texans held on, right? C.J. Stroud, it wasn't his best statistical game, but he still hasn't thrown an interception 5 weeks in. He did throw one that Bates broke on that he probably should have. I mean, it's not like he's without turnover-worthy plays.
Right.
But Stroud has played, I think, continued better and better.
Really
and
good.
then they set him up for they set him up for the game winner, and he hit it, and it was a nice throw, and it was a beautiful little comeback by Stroud.
That's the thing. I think that play is a perfect example of the balance that is going on. Like, it's the combination of PFF, Bobby, and Stroud. It's not either one of those guys gets all the credit and the other one gets none. It's the combination of the two of them are working really well. When you look at that play, it's a great play call. As you said, they set up the DB. It wasn't just a tight ends running down the seam, oh, he's open, hit him. It's they fake something that they showed him earlier in the game and then break back into the space. But Stroud has to hit it. And Stroud does a couple of things in the play. Number one, good eye discipline to not like stare it down the whole way, which is something that he did in college, right? And Justin Fields did this as well. You could do that at Ohio State. Defenses were not good enough, and the offense was so good, all you had to do was to drop back, stare at the guy you wanted to throw it to, and he's usually open because it's Garrett Wilson or Chris Olave or Marvin Harrison Jr., or whoever you want to go to. Wait for him to be open and then fire the ball in his general direction. Can't do that in the NFL. Defenses are too good. We're seeing that with all these rookie quarterbacks. You stare at a guy down, the defenses are going to get there. So he doesn't do that. Good eye discipline. His right tackle is on skates, so he has to not get on the move, but he has to slide away from that pressure and still be able to deliver an accurate ball once he comes back to that tight end. So either one of those two things breaks down, the play doesn't work. If Bobby doesn't identify the thing from earlier in the game and the right thing that's going to create an open guy in the end zone, play's probably not a touchdown. Stroud doesn't maintain good eye discipline and slide away from the pressure that's coming from right tackle, it's not a touchdown either. It's the two working in concert that is why this offense has been so successful, in addition to, the receivers playing well, et cetera, et cetera. So I think you need to bring up one when you're talking about the other. You can't just say Stroud's great, end of story. He's the best rookie we've ever seen. Like, there's a line in this game where the commentator is doing their usual, like, it's hyperbole time. And it's like, the Texans have really found something with the second overall pick. You're like, well, that's kind of the idea. It's not like we unearthed the gem in the 6th round. Like, they found something with theoretically the second best player in the draft. So you have to, I think, bring up the job Bobby is doing when you're talking about him. But equally, as somebody that was not a Stroud believer pre-draft, you also have to acknowledge that Stroud is doing really well with what he's being given. Like, he's executing what Bobby has given him, and he's adding some stuff to it. It's not he's not just a product of what Bobby is dialing up.
It's interesting because I think the thing that is working, the reason why Stroud is making it work and having success is mechanics. Like, we don't talk mechanics a ton, but it just feels like he's
technically sound.
He's very technically sound. Footwork is outstanding, and he's ready to throw, right? And that's why the things we've highlighted the last few weeks, it's reaction throws, it's rolling out of the pocket when he needs to and hitting. I mean, there was a couple where he was kind of like inaccurate when he was rolling out, but he's rolling out, getting the ball to his team, to his receivers. I think mechanically he's so sound that he's ready to get through his progressions. Like you said, he's got the eye discipline to kind of set up Bates for the game winner. A lot of those little things that often get glossed over in college, where you say, is this guy accurate? Does he have a good enough arm? Is he athletic? Does he make plays out of structure? And sometimes you forget the dude's just in position, ready to throw, and he's got good footwork. And when you're playing with an offense where you have to, have your footwork tied to your throwing mechanics, Stroud's executing it extremely well. So, look, I know the Texans lost. They fall to 2-3, but very encouraging there. Still offensively for Houston. And then Atlanta, I try to have, when I'm watching games, I'm trying to think, like, what's my big takeaway? When Atlanta gets efficient QB play, just as we said at the beginning of the year, when they get efficient QB play, they're dangerous. Because, again, overall, Jesse Bates has been fantastic this year. He made some plays on the ball. They've got some more dudes up front, and Atlanta's a dangerous team, when they're not turning it over as they had in recent weeks.
Yeah, I mean, one thing that helped the quarterback on both sides of this game is that neither team generated pretty much anything when it came to pass rushing.
Yep.
The leading pressure getter in the entire game had 3 pressures and a pass rush win rate of less than 15%. So that is a recipe for passing success in quarterback production.
All right, man. Good game. Falcons 3-2. They're just behind the 3-1 Bucks now in the NFC South, tied with the Saints, both at 3-2.